Hello and welcome to A Book in 5 Minutes. My name is Lindsay Milner and I'm a training and development consultant working mainly with non-profit organisations to help them to create awesome workplaces. And while I've been in that line of work, I have read a great deal of books. Books about effective management, books on thinking, books on business development and personal development. And I thought it might be interesting to share some of the insights that I've gained from those books with you. This week's book is called The 12-Week Year. It is by Moran and Michael Lennington. And the premise of the book is get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. The idea is that by planning in 12-week cycles and really focusing on your goals for that short time period, you will get a lot more done than if you plan and focus and set goals on a 12-month cycle. The book is divided into sections which kind of set out how their thinking, their process, and then it's divided into further sections which actually take you through the process. And the idea really is that a 12-week cycle is short enough for you to focus on and to set goals for that time period and actually be working towards your goals for a shorter time period. And that focus, and as someone who procrastinates, deadlines always work well for me. If you've got a deadline of 12 weeks, then obviously you are more focused about getting something done just ahead of the deadline, instead of thinking, oh, I've got 12 months, and then suddenly it's the 29th of November and you're not going to get much done in December because Christmas is coming. So you end up not achieving your goals throughout the year. There are 3 things that it says that you need to focus on, and I can't remember them. There's accountability and commitment is 2 of them, and what's the third one? I think it is ownership. So take ownership of your goals. Be accountable. And they've got some really interesting points about accountability. And instead of a negative, the boss, I'm going to hold you accountable for these results, it's more about holding yourself accountable to what you want to achieve. And commitment. And again, it focuses quite a lot on commitment. And this is kind of a lesson that I've recently gained for myself, having made a couple of commitments and followed through on those commitments. And they're commitments to myself. They're not to others. They're just commitments that I've made to myself. And it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks, but because you've made that commitment to yourself, you've got to follow through on that commitment. So it really does emphasise that as an important point. It then has 5 things that you need to focus on in terms of the practicalities. So that's things like having your vision in place and setting your goals, which we've probably come across in lots of other books and lots of other processes similar to this. But then what it goes on to say is that because you're focusing on quite a short time frame, it's about how you manage that time. And instead of creating a to-do list, you create a set of key tasks, things that you really need to do in order to support the goals that you've set. It builds in processes for reviewing them weekly. It builds in ways of having your time set out. You have blocks of times for performance time, they call it, where you have a block of time where you're just going to focus on your goals and nothing else. Building daily buffer times to deal with the busy work, the emails, the interruptions that you get, phone calls. And also a breakout time, a 3-hour block where you take some time out and don't be focusing on work. And as we discovered in other books, if you think of Willpower Doesn't Work, where he talks about taking periods away from work where you're really just not focusing on work, we know that that's important to help us achieve our goals too. What I'd really like to be able to do is to tell you how the system works, but obviously as I've only just finished the book and I'm full of enthusiasm for it, seems like a really good process, but at the moment is untested. So what I'd like to do is come back maybe in 12 weeks time and tell you how that's gone. If you've already given it a go, let me know what you think. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts, and if not, do you think you give it a go? Does it sound appealing? Have you had a read of the book at all? Let me know what you think. If you're interested in finding out more about other books on productivity, personal development, business development, please sign up to my YouTube channel. Until next time, bye.